We live. We live. What up, chat? Smash the like button. Smash the like button. What up, chat? Yo, we live, chat. Go crazy. All right, chat. Yeah, I got crazy session. Crazy session. I'm just gonna tell the chat. Head over, chat. Got some breaking news. Smash the like button. Smash the like button, chat. Before I begin, we got some breaking news. There's a coin that just dropped 93%, ladies and gentlemen. I longed it. I told my private members to long it as well. It dropped so hard like Luna. Let me quickly show you before we start the show. Okay. It dropped in 1 hour. It literally dropped 93%. Here we are. All right. So I longed it at the bottoms, but this is a crazy. No one knows. No one really knows as of now what's going on. I hope you can hear me, chat. Can you hear me? Can you hear me, chat? Can you hear me? All right. Let's begin. So basically, we had a massive crash, huge crash from here all the way till here, 93%, a 93% crash, ladies and gentlemen. So in literally 1 hour, I'll show you on the daily chart. The daily chart looks horrendous. It looks absolutely horrendous, chat. So I just longed it. Wish me luck, chat. And it's crazy. All right. So no one knows the real reason why it dropped this much, to be honest. No one has a clue. Like, it looks like the lunar chart. Look at this. Look at this, chat. Oh my. It dropped 93%. I don't know what happened. I don't know what's going on. I really don't know what's going on. We're gonna find out. This looks really bad. This looks horrendous, chat. This looks so bad. But anyway, we can capitalize from this. If it recovers by Monday, from here to here, it recovers. That's a 4x, 4x return. I don't know what happened. Something must have broke. If not, it's fine. It can go to zero and it's dead and buried. But I think there's a chance of it to recover. No one really knows what's the real reason of this actually falling off a cliff like this. So this is the 15-minute chart right over here. So I don't know, chat. I really don't know what happened. I don't know what went wrong. As just before I came on the chat, I was like, you know what? I have to buy this. I have to buy this. This screams like a buy. Who knows? It might go down further. Who knows? I'll put a tight stop loss. We'll see what happens next. All right. It might just drop further and collapse. All right. So right now, we're looking at the markets, and it's there's a lot of confusion going on. Trump, and this is latest news from Trump, and he's tweeted this literally 2 hours ago. Okay, basically he said nobody is getting off the hook for the unfair trade balances and non-monetary tariff barriers. What other countries have used against us, especially China, not China, but especially not China, which by far treats us the worst. There was no tariff exception announced on Friday. These products are subject to existed 20% fentanyl tariffs, and they are just moving to a different tariff bracket. The fake news knows this, but refuses to report it. We are taking a look at semiconductors and the whole electronics supply chain in the upcoming national security tariff investigations. What has been exposed is that, let me make this more clear, or you can see this clearly. What has been exposed is we are taking a look at semiconductors and the whole electronic space. Oh my God, what's this? Okay, and what has been exposed is that we need to make products in the United States and that we will not be held hostage by other countries, okay, especially China. We also cannot let them continue to abuse us on trade like that for decades. Those days are over. The golden age of America, which introduces the upcoming tax and regulation cuts, a substantial moment of which has just been approved by the House and Senate, will mean more and better paying jobs, making products in our nation and treating other countries, in particular China, the same way they have treated us. The bottom line is that our country will be bigger, better, and stronger than ever before. We will make America great again. Okay, we will make America great again. So basically, he just done another U-turn, and the markets don't like that. It's more uncertainty in the markets. We have Donald Trump saying this is a great time to buy. We did buy the dip during that time, but it's just looking like a kangaroo market at the moment. It really is looking like a kangaroo market. We have some more news from...
I'm joined now by Secretary of Commerce Howard Lutnick. Secretary Lutnick, thank you for being with us this morning. I really appreciate your time. So let's start with that news.
It's my pleasure.
Let's start with that news late Friday, that this exemption on electronics, smartphones, laptop computers, and the like. What's the thinking? Why the exemption?
Well, if you remember, over the past couple of months, President Trump has called out pharmaceuticals and semiconductors and autos. He called them sector tariffs, and those are not available for negotiation. They are just going to be part of making sure we reshore the core national security items that need to be made in this country. We need to make medicine in this country. We learned it during COVID. We need to make it in this country. We need to make semiconductors, because if we don't own semiconductors here, remember, virtually all semiconductors are made now in Taiwan and they're finished in China. It's important that we reshore them. And so the president is going to come out with his policies on semiconductors and pharmaceuticals. They're going to be outside the reciprocal tariffs. And he was just making sure everyone understood that all of these products are outside the reciprocal tariffs, and they are going to have their own separate way of being considered.
But wait a minute. I'm asking you about the exemption, not about, I mean, the notice that went out Friday night saying that electronics, a wide range of electronics, including smartphones, including components used to make microchips, that these are now exempt from the reciprocal tariffs. Why that move?
Well, remember, those products are going to be part of the semiconductor sectoral tariffs, which are coming. So you're going to see this week, there'll be a register in the Federal Registry. There'll be a notice put out. That is different types of work. So we're going to do that. We did that in autos. The president's going to do it for pharmaceuticals, and he's going to do it for semiconductors. So all those products are going to come under semiconductors, and they're going to have a special focus type of tariff to make sure that those products get reshored. We need to have semiconductors, we need to have chips, and we need to have flat panels. We need to have these things made in America. We can't be reliant on Southeast Asia for all of the things that operate for us. So what he's doing is he's saying They're exempt from the reciprocal tariffs, but they're included in the semiconductor tariffs,
I'm
which
confused,
are
chap.
coming in probably
Are you
a month or
confused?
two. So these are coming soon. You shouldn't think this is really outside of it. Really
It sounds
think of it as
confusing, chap.
being included in the semiconductor space, much like pharmaceuticals. These
Okay,
require
so
special attention, and the president is on it.
so you're saying that the big tariffs on things like smartphones and laptops, iPhones, all those iPhones built in China, that those tariffs are temporarily off, but they're going to be coming right back on in another form in a month or so? Or what are you saying?
Correct. That's right. That's right. So
Okay, so in 90 so what's wrong with my English today? In 90 days, there's going to be more tariffs regarding electronics. Okay, so the market is scared, and let me see what's happening so far today. We have electronics. Okay, it's still going on, guys. It's still all going on. All right, so it's called reciprocal tariffs, a small step towards rectifying the wrongdoings. We have some more stuff going on. The White House. Let's get onto that later on. All right. So the main event is this. Basically, this is basically the main event. Okay. Trump, is he actually playing 4D chess? Is he actually playing 4D chess? Yeah. There are two camps. Either this one right here. Okay. Or he's playing checkers. It's just two camps. There are literally two camps. Is he playing checkers or chess? Now, if Trump has 200 IQ, if his level is at 200, okay, what he wants to do is get inflation down. Okay, what he wants to do is to get rates down. He wants a soft landing. And let's be honest, when Donald Trump inherited this economy, it was due for a correction. It was actually due for a correction. There were animal spirits. Nvidia was at all-time new highs. The Mag 7 was at all-time new highs. Bitcoin was at all-time highs. Like literally everything except for some altcoins were at all-time new highs. Okay, so he inherited a really, really bloated. It was due for a correction. That's what I'm trying to say. Then we have he's trying to do the art of the deal. Okay, this is the art of the deal. So he's going to try to roll back these tariffs, make everyone bend the knee. He wants everyone to bend the knee. All right. He wants to move from a state of QT to QE. He wants to also refinance debt. That's what he wants to do right now. Is 7 trillion that has to be paid this year, or else he's going to default. And you know what happened during 2008. Okay, we had the AAA status, then we had AA-B status, and then we had BBB status, and then it just went downwards and downwards and downwards. Okay, they weren't able to pay down their debts. All right, and then we want a V-shaped recovery. We want something like boop boop, like COVID. All right, that's what we ideally want in this landscape. Then we have unemployment. Okay, unemployment has to stay low. That's ideal. We need this to stay low. If that's not the case, then of course we're in trouble. And my next point is GDP. GDP goes up. This is the 200 IQ art of the deal kind of play. Yeah, this is where majority of our bags are dependent on this man having 200 and a 200 IQ level. He needs to be playing 4D chess, or we're wasting our time here. We're literally wasting our time here. Or he's playing checkers with us. Market continues to crash. Okay. The last time we had tariffs was in 1930s. Other countries don't bend the knee. That's going to be a big problem. We got United Kingdom. They've bent the knee many times. Okay, many times. They're ready to bend the knee whenever, for anything. Okay, for a glass of water, they'll bend the knee. then we had the other countries. All right, the smaller countries. The only countries that are not bending the knee is Canada. Surprisingly, is putting up a fight, and China. Okay, majority are on the line trying to make deals. All right, China doesn't. This is if he's playing checkers and he has 20 IQ level. All right, China doesn't lower tariffs. They continue this trade war. Yeah, China grows more powerful. We are totally screwed. All right, I wouldn't say we, but some countries, America is totally screwed. All right, so what they do is smaller countries unite and they unite with China. China's been trying to do this for quite some time. It's not a secret, guys. This is not a secret. They built the renminbi, and it has railways similar to the DXY, okay, the dollar. So what they want to do is make the renminbi the reserve currency. That's their end goal. Yeah, they want to compete with the Americans, and that's going to be detrimental for the Americans, all right, and their empire. He gets impeached, killed, or fired. This one's exaggerating, but you get the drift, okay? And he has a Liz Truss moment. It's looking more and more likely like a Liz Truss moment, okay? Liz Truss moment when economic bravado meets market reality, all right? The president's U-turn after his maverick plan threatened meltdown has echoes of 2022 UK crisis, okay? So some people are comparing this to Liz Truss, and this happened during her time. A maverick economic policy announcement from the self-styled disruptor plunges this country's currency into a freefall and puts rocket boosters behind the cost of government debt, prompting warnings of an economic nuclear winter and forcing a pretty undignified U-turn. Okay. The truth was, Trump actually bent the knee. He saw the bond market increase, and then he decided to bend the knee. So he kind of like pushed back on all of this stuff because the bond market actually went ballistic. It went so crazy that the Fed had to intervene because he was giving out tariffs to everyone and everything. Okay. He was even giving out tariffs to some uninhabited island in the middle of God knows nowhere. And the only folks or the only things that inhabit this place is penguins. So Trump was going crazy. He was going really, really crazy with the tariffs. He still has a tariff on this poor island in Antarctica. Oh my God, Antarctica. So he's got tariffs over there, and the situation is. It's not ideal, to be fair. It's really not ideal. We don't want a situation like this, okay? We really don't want a situation like this. We want a situation like this, yeah? He needs to roll back these taxes, roll back these tariffs. He needs to introduce QE, and he needs to hopefully have a V-shaped recovery. This is going to go out. This is going to continue for quite some time, okay? Markets continue to crash. We're heading downwards. This is not great news. Markets are completely uncertain, and markets hate uncertainty. All right, they really, really hate uncertainty. We got 130 countries now trying to negotiate a new deal with the US. Yeah, so we've got a plethora of different countries. However, if the bond market continues to rally, guys, if that continues to rally on Monday and Tuesday and Thursday and Friday, if this continues to rally, we're gonna see a further crash in the SPX, okay, in stocks. This is not going to end anytime soon. I reassure you. Yeah, I'm going to tell you very, very clearly that this thing is not going to end anytime soon. We're hoping for a quick in and out, but this is not ending anytime soon, unfortunately. And that's the actual seriousness of the situation. Okay, because I'll be honest with you, Trump has gone to every state in America. All right, he's gone to every state in America, and he's seen the poverty, the lack of jobs, the drug epidemic happening in America. Let's be really honest. Like, this is the first time in history that we've seen a president that really wants to change things. Yeah, he really wants to change things. And for many, many, many years, okay, for many years, we had a system where it's a K-shaped economy. Okay, the 1% that hold assets do very, very well. Let me just draw this better. Let me move this. So we have normally in economics, basically, we have something called a K-shaped economy. All right. So it's a theory which first came out. Let me make this thick. I don't know if you can see this properly. How do you make this thicker? Okay. So we have a economy that's a K-shaped economy. All right. So normally what happens is the 1% normally do very, very well, while the 99% do poorly. Now, Trump, he's not stupid. He's gone to all of these places. He's gone to all of these cities in America, and he's seen that every single industry has been completely decimated. Yeah. the working man, the middle class man, whatever. Like it's just been completely decimated. Okay, so the 1% own assets. Okay, they own assets. The 99% don't own assets. They're in mainstream. They have regular jobs. Okay, nurses, whatever, like regular jobs, firefighters, police officers, whatever. They're all really, really, really struggling. So he came out with this idea to hit people with tariffs. Okay, he wants every country to have 10% tariffs. Like every single country by default is going to have 10% tariffs. Okay, so in a K-shaped economy, we tend to have an uneven. Sorry, where is it? This is it. Where's that little table of mine? Okay, so he's not stupid. Okay, he knows that the situation is not looking good. Okay, so a K-shaped economy is basically uneven. The rich get richer, inequality widens. The winners are the asset holders. Okay, simple as that. If you own Bitcoin, if you own assets, if you own certain altcoins, if you own stocks, the Magnificent Seven, whatever, you're a good winner. Your assets keep on going higher and higher and higher, while everyone else is left behind. Okay, so he's come out with tariffs. So I don't know. I don't know how this is gonna react. I don't know. I don't know how this is all gonna play out. But I'm gonna let you decide. I'm gonna let you decide and figure out if this is a good way or a good plan to actually redistribute the wealth. At the moment, he really doesn't care. He really, really doesn't care about the economy. Listen, the whole administration have clearly stated to everyone that we don't really care about Wall Street right now. Right now, Wall Street is not the concern. Right now, Main Street is the concern. And this looks like a bear market. This looks clear. Listen, you want me to really blow smoke up your ass? Then go to the other channels. Go to the other channels, and you can get your dopamine hit. You can get your daily dopamine hit and go to sleep. Okay, it's gonna get better. Don't worry, it's gonna get better as the show goes on. We had a bear market is a correction is 10%. A bear market is 20%. We're already here. If we have a technical recession, which I think we are going to see a technical recession. Now, a technical recession is a two records of low growth, okay? Negative growth in GDP, 2 by the MBER score, okay? So that will take us 30%. That's a technical recession, okay? This right here is a technical recession. In 2020, till then, it went down 27%. That's a technical recession. This, we haven't even got to 30%. This is so sharp. This is the fastest drawdown that we've seen ever. Yeah, ever in history. So we could see prices of 4,200. Yeah. So it's not long left, to be fair. Like another 10%, 15%, and we're done. That's what I think. So in this economy, we've seen that basically, just give me a minute, lads. Give me a minute. Let me just sort this out. Okay, so regarding Bitcoin. Now that's the $100 million question. Okay, what's my bias? I'm gonna give you my bias. I'm gonna give you the objective truth, and I'm gonna give you my bias. Yeah, Bitcoin is currently at $83,000 US. Objectively, it's broken past this neckline right over here. Objectively, next stop is, like I said, 92, 94. That's the next stop. Everyone is looking at lower prices. I think Bitcoin. Okay, let's just do objectively. It's broken this line. Now, if it breaks this line, normally from here to here, we'll see an increase. From here to here, we'll see an increase to around my target of 97. All right, around there. But let's be a little bit more objective, and let's say it gets to 94. What happens next? Okay, that's my idea. Now, the markets are going to open on Monday. I'm going to be live streaming on Monday as well and trading on Monday. So the markets are going to open, and of course, this is bad news. So we might see a correction back to here. Bitcoin is making new higher highs. That's my bias. I think Bitcoin is heading to $94,000 US. I think Bitcoin is going to head into its final form. Call me whatever you want to call me. I don't care what you think, ladies and gentlemen, but I've been right so far. I've been right so far. So come on. Okay. There is some news I want to speak about, to be fair. There is some news I want to speak about. Was it regarding tariffs again? Regarding tariffs. Okay. What we want to see is this, okay, ladies and gentlemen. What we want to see is an E-shaped economy. Okay. I know it's just some of you might think it's pie in the sky kind of thing, but the fourth turning is actually real good, ladies and gentlemen. Google it. Google the fourth turning. I've spoken about it a couple of times. All right. So we have the K-shaped economy. All right. That's the K-shaped where the 1% do really, really well, the 99 do really poorly. Okay. The asset holders do really, really well, the rest do really, really poorly. We got an E-shaped economy. When an E-shaped economy is basically when all the folks do really, really well. Okay, when everyone does really, really well. This normally happens during massive, huge changes. Yeah, we had one in World War. Okay, World War One and World War Two. Huge changes, massive changes. Okay, we had another one during 2008. The last one was 2008. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, that was the big that changes. When we go through such a vicious recession, that changes people's mindsets. Okay, it really changes people's mindsets. Now, a recession is not the end of the world, folks. It really isn't the end of the world. Okay, if we see, I don't think we're seeing a real recession, but I do think we're going to see maybe possibly a technical recession. Okay, this thing is not going to take a long time to pan out. Okay, it's going to take a long time to pan out, and I think Bitcoin is going to head into final form. That's my bias. I think Bitcoin is going to do really, really well during this time, and I'll do a separate video on Bitcoin. Yeah, altcoins. That's the question. The $1 million question is altcoins. Now, there are going to be particular altcoins that do really, really well during this kangaroo market. Yeah, because it is a kangaroo market. Everything is up, down, sideways. It's a yo-yo market. And altcoins need QE. They just need QE. And we were about to see QE. We were really, really close to seeing QE, ladies and gentlemen. We were really, really close to seeing it. Unfortunately, it didn't happen. It didn't happen. The Fed were about to bend the knee, and it never happened. Because look, this is what happened. Yeah, let me show you the bond market. When traders have the 10-year yield. Go check all the influencers. If they have a 10-year yield, my friend, they're in trouble. This is like signs of a bear market. When they got the 10-year yield, there is a problem. If they've got this, there's an issue right there. So, okay, bond market crashed. Okay, some people were speculating. I thought it was the Chinese. It wasn't the Chinese. It was actually just the Japanese. The Japanese actually caused all of this. They dumped so much treasuries. Okay, they dumped it all. So now treasuries is basically if you sell massive amounts of treasuries, you get more yield. Okay, vice versa. It's an inverse correlation. So what they've done is they fully panicked. They completely panicked, and they ended up buying the European bonds. Now the European bonds crashed during that time. So from here to here, it just plummeted. Okay, 13%. They just aped into the European bonds. It's going to be interesting because we're going to have to wait and see what happens to European bonds. Are they going to flock into more European bonds? Now, the DXY, this is on a macro level. Sorry, the DXY is, I know, don't worry, it's going to all connect, guys. It's all going to connect. The DXY. Now, the DXY is heading downwards. Why would you sit in stables? I know most of you are sitting in stables. I get it. Sit in stables if you want to, my friends. But why would you want to sit in stables when gold's going to outperform everything on the planet this year? Now, you think these little gains are minor. You think these little gains are like, oh, okay, something to laugh about. Oh, yeah, this and that. I only got a few thousand. My friend, why would you want to sit in stables? Doesn't make any sense. Why would you look? You got a couple of choices. You can sit in the Swiss francs if we have a full-blown recession. Now, full-blown recession is not going to be. It's not going to be pretty, guys. I'm giving you the worst case scenario. Now, recessions are like 40% down, 50% down. Altcoins, my friend, they're going to hell and back. I repeat, I just talked about OMA. What is it? I'm just shorting it right now. It's down 85%. Now, my friends, we haven't even touched the recession. You're going to see coins go down 85%. I'll take that back. But you're going to see coins go down badly. Yeah. This mantra went down 85% in 1 hour. Let me repeat. It went down 85%. It went down 85%. Ladies and gentlemen, if we see a recession, wallahi, wallahi, there is no floor price for altcoins. I repeat, there is no floor price for altcoins if we see a recession. Okay, if we see a recession, a full-blown recession. A recession is like 2008. Okay, it's like 2008. You make your mind up. Is Donald Trump playing 200? Is Donald Trump playing 4D chess, or is he playing checkers? You make that mind up. I'm not gonna hand you my conviction. Don't borrow anyone's conviction. You really sit down to yourself and ask yourself, you know what, bro? Is he playing chess or checkers here? Because if he's playing chess, this is the best time to buy, like he said. If he's playing checkers, then my friend, altcoins don't have a floor price. Do you know when they do have a floor price? Do you know when they do? When they do? When QE comes. When QE comes, they don't have a ceiling after that. When QE comes, there's no ceiling for altcoins. Wallahi, I'm being real. There is no ceiling for it. Listen, this coin, I don't know if you can see it, sorry. This coin, sorry about that, couldn't see it. Big up, big up, big up, big up. Hey, big up, big up. This coin went to 5.3 billion market cap. Right here. Let me show you the market cap on this. It in just early February, okay? Early February, it was at 7.9 billion. Now it's sitting at 890 million. Yeah, 809. This is a massive correction. No, actually, this is a massive blunder. Sorry, massive blunder. So you need to figure out, or we need to figure out, how low can this go? Okay. Now, altcoins, there are a few altcoins that will perform. Wallahi, I'll be dead honest too. I'll be dead. I won't say all of them are going to hell and back. There are going to be coins that are going to outperform. I'm not going to take that away from you. I promise you. I'm not going to take that away from you. I love altcoins more than anything. Yeah. I've named my damn channel Altcoin Era. Yeah. Bitcoin is going to do really, really well. Yeah, back to the topic. I'm jumping from topic to topic. Okay, so Bitcoin is going to do really, really well. Gold is going to be the superstar of the show. Like I'm being dead honest. Gold is going to be the actual superstar of the show, and it's going to head up. Look at this chart. Look how majestic and beautiful this chart looks. In a time of massive uncertainty, gold does really, really well. Now we can go back to the GFC period, okay, where we had a massive crash. We can go back all the way to, let me go on to the monthly, and you're going to realize how well gold does during massive uncertainty. All right, so in 2000 and where are we? In 2000 and is it here? 1990. Okay, in 2000 and this is the period. This is the period, guys. Yeah, from 2001. This is a decade run, basically a decade till 2022, guys. Can anyone see a crash? Let me overlay the stocks. Like, look very closely, guys. Look very closely. This is the crash. Did anything happen, guys? Did any get it? Now, Bitcoin, my bias is my bias. I think Bitcoin is going to hit final form now. I think it's on third gear right now. It's actually on third gear. I think Bitcoin is going to shine now. Now, you could shoot me if you want to, whatever. Altcoins are not correlated to Bitcoin. Don't mistake that. Please don't mistake that. Altcoins are correlated to what? You already know. Come on, chat. To what? To what, chat? What are altcoins correlated to? Come on, chat. Come on. Someone. I'm waiting for someone. What are they correlated to, chat? What are altcoins correlated to chat. They fell asleep. They fell asleep. Liquidity. There we go. Okay. What else? What else? What else? You're close. You're close. What else are they correlated to? Come on, chat. Come on. Send it, bro. ETH. Bang. There we go. How many times have we been saying? How many times you get a free t-shirt for that? Yeah. I'm gonna send you a free t-shirt. Sean, you get a free t-shirt for that. Yeah. I'm gonna send you a t-shirt. Big up, Sean. I got altcoin era t-shirt. I'm sending that to you. What size are you? What size are you, Sean? I hope I think it's medium or large. I think I got large. I hope you're large. I'll send that to you anyway, Sean. Okay. It's correlated to ETH. Okay. Now, if ETH is having problems, your altcoins are having major problems. Okay. So what you want to get into is gold. And what you also want to get into, which people are not looking at, is Bitcoin. So Bitcoin is going to be the star of the show in this massive economic uncertainty. So keep this between us two. I think Bitcoin's heading to 145K. Yeah. 145K. Now, a lot of participants don't see this coming. They really do not see this coming. And the administration have kind of signaled this. Yeah, they really have kind of signaled this, and they've signaled this, and they've actually said that they're contemplating in selling some of their gold for Bitcoin. Okay, and I'll show you right over here. So this is actually what they've actually said. Okay, here we go. The White House says gold reserves may be used to purchase Bitcoin. Now, this is not pie in the sky kind of stuff. Okay, this is from the actual White House. And they're kind of like signaling to the markets, yeah, that Bitcoin is going to be part of this fourth turning. The fourth turning is coming, guys. Yeah, it's actually here. It's a real thing. It's an actual real thing. The fourth turning. And there's going to be massive changes, huge changes. Now, China looks like they don't want to bend the knee. Trump and America looks like they don't want to bend the knee. Neither of them want to bend the knee. So what happens next? What happens next, folks? How can you listen, one follows the art of war, yeah, the art of war, and the other one follows the art of the deal. They've clashed. Two cultures have clashed, yeah, and they don't want to buckle. They don't want to really negotiate. They want to keep, one wants to keep the status quo and the other one wants to rip it apart. Okay. The only way China and America will both make a deal, in my personal opinion, is things have to get worse. Things have to get worse. And then they're going to make a deal. By then, they're going to make a deal. But right now, they're sitting pretty. Both of them are sitting pretty right now. They're not really in massive pain. The pain has just started if we're heading to where I'm thinking we might be heading to. Yeah. Okay. If you're looking at stocks, if you're an investor, bro, I'll be really honest with you. There are stock prices that you should be buying right now, hand over fist. A 30% correction is a big redistribution of wealth. 30% correction. Okay. That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. You're telling me Tesla prices and the Mag 7 prices are at these prices. Boy, oh boy, if I was you, I'll be buying some of these stocks, okay? I'll be buying whatever assets I can buy, okay? Save face for their people. Yeah, yep. Orange billionaire tears. That's it. Send it, bro. So yeah, that's the situation we're living in right now, and I'm gonna keep saying it till I'm blue in the face. Gold is gonna outperform. Okay, Bitcoin is going to outperform. Altcoins are going to underperform. You long Bitcoin and gold, and you short altcoins. You're going to find cheaper prices, guys. This is going to be incredible news for us. If you think these prices are cheap, oh boy, just wait for these prices. I've been in bear markets, my friends, and it's not fun. It really isn't fun. And this is the period where you're really going to see the most gains of your entire life. Like real, I'm being dead honest. Look, Ethereum is a multi-cycle coin. There's no doubt about it. Okay, it has the largest market share for stablecoins. And what's going to happen with stablecoins? Now, you know, this administration is trying to pivot away from this, from China having so much treasuries. Yeah, they want Tether, they want USDC to have the most. Okay, hold the most treasuries. That's going to be beneficial to them. Yeah, Ethereum stablecoin cap is up 1,000x since first time ETH price hit 1,400 US dollars. I repeat, Ethereum stablecoin market is up a million x, a million x, a million x. There were barely any stablecoins in 2018, and he went up to 1,400. It's gone up by a million x. Ethereum has the largest market cap of stablecoins, damn near 70% now. 70%. 70%, guys. This is the biggest steal of your entire life. And I'm talking about sound, fundamental assets. Ethereum is the Amazon, guys. It's the Amazon. I can't emphasize this enough. Now, you want to take on more risk to reward. Now, we could go deeper down the rabbit hole and we can go further into more speculative coins. But why bother? Ethereum is so undervalued. Why the hell do you want to bother? Why do you want to bother with some of the most like I don't know, sub 300, sub 400 coins, when you can look at it and think, you know what, if we're heading into a recession or a recessionary scare 2025, because it's looking more and more like it, like this is me being frank to you and honest to you, if it's looking more and more like this, then Ethereum is a steal. It's a massive, massive steal. So we're going to see the whole world is changing in front of our eyes, ladies and gentlemen. Like literally, it's no joke. It's actually changing in front of our eyes. This might be the most pivotal part of my entire career. Like this might be another GFC moment. Yeah, this might be the real main event. Now, it could be this year or it could be next year. We don't know. Donald Trump has decided to shoot himself now. Okay, he decided to shoot his foot right now rather than later on during his term. So that's the situation we're in right now. Gold. What else did I want to speak about? The fourth turning. Okay, I want to speak about his fourth turning because it's more deeper than people anticipated. Okay, so we're in a K-shaped economy. Everyone knows that. That's no surprise. That's fact. Okay, and we're trying to head into a E-shaped economy where everyone thrives, where everyone does good. Okay, so this guy says it way better than me, and have a listen to this.
Year 2030, so we're not quite halfway through yet.
Oh, hey, how's it going? I'm pen and paper guy, and I'm motion.
Ads.
Well, I have a system.
I hate ads. I really hate ads. Okay.
Well, this is all part of a pattern, and it's a pattern that's gone back centuries in Anglo-American history. I think it frankly characterizes the history of many countries around the world today. Like nature's four seasons, the cycles of history follow a natural rhythm or pattern. Over the last 5 centuries, Anglo-American society has entered a new era, a new turning every 2 decades or so. At the start of each turning, people change how they feel about themselves, the culture, the nation, and the future. Turnings come in cycles of 4. Each cycle spans the length of a long human life, roughly 80 to 100 years, or the unit of time the ancients called the saeculum. The first turning is called a high. This is an era when institutions are strong and individualism is weak. Society is confident about where it wants to go collectively, even if those outside the majoritarian center feel stifled by the conformity. America's most recent first turning was the post-World War II American high, beginning in 1946 and ending with the assassination of John Kennedy in 1963. The second turning is an awakening. This is an era when institutions are attacked in the name of personal and spiritual autonomy. Just when society is reaching its high tide of public progress, people suddenly tire of social discipline and want to recapture a sense of inner authenticity. Young activists and spiritualists look back at the previous high as an era of cultural poverty. America's most recent awakening was the consciousness revolution, which spanned from the campus and inner city revolts in the mid-1960s to the tax revolts of the early 1980s. The third turning is an unraveling. The mood of this era is in many ways the opposite of a high. Institutions are weak and distrusted, while individualism is strong and flourishing. Highs follow crises, which teach the lesson that society must coalesce and build. Unravelings follow awakenings, which teach the lesson that society must atomize and enjoy. America's most recent unraveling was the long boom in culture wars beginning in the early 1980s and probably ending in 2008. The era opened with triumphant morning in America individualism and drifted toward a pervasive distrust of institutions and leaders, an edgy popular culture, and the splitting of national consensus into competing values camps, red and blue. And finally, we enter the fourth turning, which is a crisis. This is an era in which America's institutional life is torn down and rebuilt from the ground up, always in response to a perceived threat to the nation's very survival. Civic authority revives, cultural expression finds a community purpose, and people begin to locate themselves as members of a larger group. In every instance, fourth turnings have eventually become new founding moments in America's history, refreshing and redefining the national identity. Currently, this period began in 2008 with the global financial crisis and the deepening of the war on terror, and will extend to around 2030. So what does all this say about our future? Well, in our paradigm, America has entered the fourth turning. What can we say about fourth turnings? Each turning lasts around 22 years, so this turning is going to last until about the year 2030. So we're not quite halfway through yet. Now, this is the winter of history. It's a time of creative destruction of public institutions. We're going to radically change ultimately when we get out the other end of this thing, our politics, our economics, our sense of what we need in terms of public infrastructure in our lives. And very much of that is going to be shaped by the values and aspirations of the rising millennial generation. What do we know of the morphology of these turnings? Well, it starts with the catalyst. And of course, the catalyst was, like 1929, it was 2008, a sudden shock to our system. Say, okay, we're in a new place now. You know, we're not in Kansas anymore. We have a whole new sense of where we need to go as a nation. We suddenly shocked out of our third turning individualism, celebrity circuses, and whatever we thought about back then. Things are going to be different now. Families are suddenly aware that they're not going to do as well as their parents. That we're suddenly see that our role in the world maybe is not what we expected. That's the first thing. And that's already happened. The other three phases of the fourth turning haven't happened yet. One, which will soon happen, is what we call the regeneracy. This is when distrust reaches its low point and we suddenly begin to coalesce around something, some leader, some movement we began to feel positive about as a fulcrum, as some point at which we can begin to find increasing trust in someone who can piece together institutions that can make sense again. Additional shocks to our system, either in terms of economic, financial, or geopolitical shocks, are on the table. This is what happens in a fourth turning, because at this moment of great vulnerability, we're going to hit further points at which we realize we are unprepared for the future. A lot of the assumptions we're making actually aren't going to pan out. We need to retool our institutions in a much more fundamental way than we've seen thus far. That's exactly what happened in the 1930s, where we kind of ratcheted down our expectations and retooled things in a bigger and bigger way than FDR ever thought going in 1932 that he would ever have to do. That's where we're going to go. And that's going to lead to what we call the crisis. That's the third point in a fourth turning, when suddenly things get worse and worse, but we're beginning to match it with greater and greater civic effort. We're rebuilding our civic life to match this greater and greater sense of crisis. Then we reach the crisis and pass it, and then that leaves the final act in a fourth turning, and that's what we call the resolution. That's when the treaties are signed, the negotiations are made, all of the civic cement, which was wet during the fourth turning, suddenly dries. And then we suddenly have a post-crisis order, which hopefully would endure a beneficial and working post-crisis order that we hopefully will endure for the next 2 or 3 turnings after that. The final point I want to make is this, is that people talk about fourth turnings, and I've been quoted in the media this way, that they're just bad, they're apocalyptic, they're horrible for all of us. I just want to make the point that fourth turnings are actually necessary, just like winter is necessary. Winter kills everything off so that new things can grow. And just as forests need fires, rivers need floods, so does society need events which clean out the debris, which clean out everything that's sclerotic and ossified that no longer functions, something which tilts the whole playing field of power and wealth from the old back to the young. This is what fourth turnings do. They renew us. Fourth turnings are the price we must pay for a new golden age. History has shown this time after time, and we're about to see it again in what I expect to be a really interesting and fascinating period in our history with which we can truly be all engaged.
Okay, that's the situation we have at the moment. Yeah. So as of now, altcoins are going to head lower. All right. They're just forming higher lows and lower lows. Okay. Lower highs and lower lows. Lower highs and lower lows. That's just simply what's happening so far. ETH is hit my target of 1600. I'm looking for lower prices. Yeah. During these markets, what you have to do is simply sell the rip. So you sell these rips. You buy the dip and you sell upon the rips. Ethereum is currently oscillating around this area. I'm looking for prices of 1400, then 1300, and then $1,000 US. That's going to be my ultimate buy zone. Solana is heading to my target of around $79 and $73, right over here. So I've marked this territory for quite some time. This is not the first time I've marked it. I've said long time ago during the prices, when we had prices around here at like around $200, $300, I was telling folks that we're heading most likely to this area. Yeah. We had the biggest euphoria moment, and it was Trump endorsing his own meme coin during that time. So it was clear to see that that was the end of the road. Now remember, bull markets die upon euphoria. They die upon euphoria. Bull markets die upon euphoria. Bear markets are made through depression. Now we had a 67% retracement. That's a massive retracement. But if you think we can't go any lower, we can definitely go lower. Yeah, Solana went down a massive 97% during that time. From the very peak to the trough, we went down 96%. So some of these altcoins don't have a floor price, unfortunately. And if we head into a recession, or if we head into, these scary areas, then of course the likes of these coins are heading lower, far lower. I'm not here to fearmonger. I'm not here to scare you. I'm just here to simply tell you that this could be a possibility. Now we will see moments where we do rally. Yeah, we will see this. It might be because if you look at the altcoin season indicator, we are definitely due a rally. We are definitely, because objectively speaking, like the markets have gone down considerably. It's not letting me. The last time I checked, it was around 18. Okay, that's the last time I checked. So we are due a rally, objectively speaking. XRP is heading to my target right over here at $1.52. Then we have Polkadot, which unfortunately couldn't hold this line. Okay, it broke underneath this line, and now unfortunately can't even hold this as support. We'll see by the end of the day if it can hold above. It's never ever closed underneath this area. Never. Okay, never. And that's normally a sign of there's further weakness to come. Okay, if you're waiting for lower prices, I promise you're going to get lower prices. You're going to get far lower prices. If you think this is a discount, you're going to see a real discount. You've never seen a bear market ever. Some of you have never ever seen a bear market. So if you think these things can't go lower, they can certainly go lower. I told you from the very beginning. You know which stuff to buy. You guys, I've been more than adamant. I've been more than clear. what coins to buy. Now, commodities are going through the roof. Silver is about to make an all-time new high. Gold is about to make an all-time new high. These moments, of massive uncertainty, these kind of commodities is what you buy. You don't buy the DXY. You don't sit in stables. You don't do that. You definitely don't do that. I've made that mistake before when I was sitting in stables, and I remember, look, you can sit in stables if you want to, but you don't want your stable to go down by a massive amount. Now, remember this period, it went down a whopping 13%. 13% is a big change in your currency. Yeah, it's a massive change in your currency. So this is not what you want. Yeah, sit in gold, and of course, you have to sit on Bitcoin. My bias, it doesn't look great. It really doesn't look great because we need to break this. We really have to break this. If we don't, and it just turns into sell the rip, then we might head lower. I don't think, and I've said this many times, I don't think we're going to make new all-time lows. It's final form for Bitcoin. It's showtime for Bitcoin. Is it really a store of value? Is it really an inflation hedge? And I forgot to mention this, the FOMC. The Fed don't even care. QE, when is it arriving? When is it coming? We will have to find out and see. But the Fed, they're still in the fire station. They haven't come out yet. They're still upstairs watching television, watching TV at the moment. There's an 80% chance of them holding, an 80% chance. Guys, if we go to June, there is a further, there's a 63% chance. Yeah? Let me get the maths right. Let me see this. There's a 63% chance of them only cutting by half a basis point. Half a basis point. So they're not in any rush, guys. They're really not in any rush to change the situation. And then there's nothing crazy going. Look, they don't look at stocks. They look at credit. They actually look at credit. And credit is credit is fine. Companies are not defaulting. They're not giving out loans like they did in 2008. So why would they increase QE? Why would they even start QE in the first place? That's not going to happen anytime soon. And if the stock market drops 60%, 50%, even then they can just blame Donald Trump. That's all they can just simply blame Donald Trump and say, you know what, like our hands are clean. We did nothing wrong. Donald Trump done this to himself. He decided to go for, all of these tariffs. And this is what it's caused. And tariffs, of course, are inflationary in nature. We all know this, okay? They're all inflationary in nature. So we're going to see how this all plans out. I've told you my plays. I've told you what I'm looking at. And this is the play we're at. And we're going to see. I've been right so far. Like, come on. Altcoins have no floor price. Remember that. Don't ever forget that. Altcoins have no floor price. If you want cheaper prices, just DCA. If you're an investor, just continue to DCA. Just continue. If you're a trader, then keep trading these rips. Keep trading these rips. That's all you need to do. You can just simply keep trading these rips. That's it, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, that's all I have to say. Any questions, guys? Any questions, chat? How was your night? How was your day? Any questions, chat? What coins are you looking at? Any questions, chat? Any questions, chat? What's your question, chat? Big up, big up, big up. How are you? How you been? It's late over here. It's really having good. Oh, long AVAX, XLM, and ETH. Okay, we're gonna see what happens. That's that. Okay, we'll see tomorrow. I'll be live streaming tomorrow, chat. All right. Any more questions? Orange pill. Orange Grove tariff exemptions on smartphones digested by Asia today, early 9 a.m. See if Asia gets spicy. Okay, we'll see, chat. We'll see. It's been a blessed evening. I'll see you on Monday. I'm live streaming on Monday. I'll see you then, yeah? I'm going to be doing a long live stream, so I'll see you then. Peace. Much love. It's been blessed.